Hi folks, welcome to your latest Planning Outlook that's updated on Friday the 28th of August. We've got a chilly pattern to take us to the end of the month as northerly winds are around as we begin this weekend. Those will ease as pressure builds from the west and things become largely dry for a few days before into next week southwesterly winds and some wind and rain at times comes charging back in from the Atlantic. Now, it's been a complicated few days. We had a powerful storm system earlier on in the week, and the leftovers of that have still kept generally low pressure doing a slow rotation across the British Isles in the past day or so. That's the satellite picture from Friday afternoon. You can see the circulation at this point somewhere just over the southern North Sea. Fronts are all the way across Central Europe as well, and we're now just dragging in the backside of that system from the north, and that chilly northerly air mass is following, but the clearer skies out toward the west over the Atlantic signifies the area of high pressure is just starting to edge its way towards us. It makes things a little bit more straightforward for a time at least, but then things become a bit more complicated again, and that will hinge on what's going on over in the United States. And you've probably seen on the news the developments from Hurricane Laura, which came in off the Gulf of Mexico to Texas and Louisiana. It's now a tropical depression and more or less losing its tropical characteristics as it dumps some rain across the eastern states. That will be out towards the Atlantic though by the end of the weekend. And as we start the new week, that will begin to have a role on our weather patterns. As often is the case, these former tropical systems do create some complications as they transition into post-tropical storms and get absorbed into the jet stream. Just to pick up the story as we go to the start of next week, this is Sunday and the storm system by then is off Newfoundland. We've got another frontal system over the Atlantic and a ridge of high pressure ahead of that, which is giving us the decent few days. The first front will come in off the Atlantic as we head to the back end of Monday, but most of Monday looks as though it stays dry and fine. The former tropical system is just an ordinary Atlantic area of low pressure by this stage, but with some of its tropical moisture still inherent in that feature, and that will be pushing towards us by the time we get to the middle of the week. The first front that comes in around Monday night sort of fizzles out, I suspect, by that point. But it's the next low that is the remnants of Hurricane Laura, and that is likely to bring strengthening winds, the risk of gales and some heavy rain as we get into the middle of the upcoming week, and it leaves then a sequence of southwesterly winds with further frontal systems, some wind and rain at times over a few days into the second half of the week. Indications further ahead suggest that higher pressure may eventually begin to build, but I think at least another unsettled spell is on the way next week. So those are your longer range trends. Let's have a quick look at the latest details for the weekend. It's a relatively straightforward one. It's a chilly picture for Saturday. It's a strong northerly wind, the strongest of those across Pennine areas where up to gale force on the higher tops in the morning will slowly ease down, but it stays a chilly feeling day where exposed to that wind will feel sub-zero on the higher tops. One or two showers around, just drifting in from the north and northeast with some hail and some sleet and snow on the very highest Scottish tops possible, but generally only flurries. Most places dry into Sunday. The wind's dropping lighter as the high builds from the west. A weak front just lurking around the northwest of Scotland may just bring a bit more cloud and perhaps a few spits and spots into northwestern coast, but otherwise it's a dry story with some sunshine breaking through and cloud mostly above the summits. As mentioned in yesterday's video, it's chilly nights that will be a theme through this weekend as well, particularly once the high really topples in and the winds drop light. Clear skies and that originally chilly air mass, all the ingredients for a touch of frost first thing in the mornings. Monday morning likewise, I suspect, with that as well. One or two mist and fog patches may just be around at lower levels, particularly I think in England and Wales. We've got that next front then just edging its way in off the Atlantic. Most likely now for Monday that is very late on in the day or even into Monday night by the time it starts to show itself toward the west. It may just be that high cloud begins to build a bit from the west as Monday goes on and the wind from the south just begins to strengthen a bit. That will lift the temperatures a degree or so compared to the weekend at least. What's left of that front still lingering around across some western regions into Tuesday. Some uncertainty how quickly that disintegrates and drifts eastwards. I think some low cloud and some patchy rain is likely to be around across western regions, whilst eastern areas may be still under the influence of high pressure through Tuesday for a reasonable day, and again temperatures just a degree or so warmer. The fronts which are out further west is the remnants then of the former tropical system. Just an ordinary autumnal type looking chart as we go into the middle of the week, really, as southwesterly winds prevail, a fairly humid air mass that comes in with that tropical moisture, so lots of low cloud, especially in the warm sector across England and Wales. If we can get behind the cold front across Scotland, then the cloud bases may just lift somewhat, but the idea of some rain, some heavy rain possible for a time, and brisk winds with the risk of gales across the mountains at least for a time. And just a teaser to finish with, further ahead, that's one of the forecast models at least for the week up until the 10th of September, which suggests that higher pressure builds in more extensively from the west. I wouldn't be betting everything on it at this stage, but just the early hints once we go through an unsettled spell that things may be just quieten down towards the following weekend and further into the month of September. We shall see how that develops. Stay up to date with all your latest local content updated every day on our website. Thanks for watching today. Bye for now.